In the last video, I showed you how I made a twist Damascus hunting knife. So today I'm going to show you the process of how I make a leather sheath to accompany that. I begin by drawing the outline of the knife so I can create a template for each part of the sheath. I use a manila folder for this since it's a little bit thicker than paper and it's easier to trace onto the leather. Next, I cut the template out and get ready to trace it onto a piece of leather. I buy all my leather in full hides. It's 8 to 9 ounce American made stuff by Wickett and Craig. This particular type of leather is great quality and is made specifically for sheath and holster making, so it tools very nicely as well. I again use a regular Stanley box knife to cut everything out. The disposable blades are cheap, and it's nice to start with a fresh sharp blade every time with each project. Next, I'll apply leather dye in short dabbing motions. Then I'll hammer the pieces over a worn out section of my driveway to add some texture to them. Next, I use an edge beveler and remove the sharp corners from the end of the sheath. Then I'll burnish the edges by applying a product called Tokonol and rub it with a burnishing stick. I thin the Tokonol with water, then add it to these cheap squeeze bottles from Amazon. That makes it much easier to apply and also ensures I don't get it all over the faces of the sheath as well. This is going to be a pocket sheath, so I mark and punch the holes for where the ulti clip will be attached. I use Chicago screws to attach the clip, then glue that patch to the front of the sheath so I can stitch everything together. I lay out the stitching groove with a set of wing dividers. Then I use a pricking iron to make the stitching holes. Next, I'll take the pieces over to the stitching pony and lace everything together using a saddle stitch. At the end, I'll do a couple back stitches, then burn the loose ends so nothing unravels down the road. I cut a piece of leather called a welt, then glue that to the inside of the sheath. This piece of leather protects the stitching from being cut by the sharp edge of the knife. Then I'll glue the back side of the sheath on top of that and mark and punch the stitching holes like I did for the clip. Before sewing, I use a diamond-shaped awl and run it through each hole. This expands the leather slightly, making it easier for the needle and thread to travel through. Here I show you how I attach the thread to the needle. This holds the thread very securely without creating a big knot that will get caught up easily passing through the layers of leather. Then I slowly saddle stitch everything together just like I did before with the clip. After I burn the ends, I'll hammer over the lacing so the leather closes up around the thread. This makes the stitch look a lot nicer. Then I'll trim the sides of the sheath so everything is even before I go on to beveling and burnishing them. I use a piece of canvas from an old pair of work pants to burnish this part. The last step is for me to apply a top coat over the entire sheet. This adds a little shine and helps to seal and protect the leather. It also acts as a barrier and ensures that none of the dye on the leather will rub off on the customer's clothes. And here's the finished sheath. It's a simple yet purposeful design. I'm a huge fan of oldie clips and pocket sheaths because they make the knife easily concealable and removable, and they don't get caught up on things like if it was hanging from a belt. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one.